AI. Say the word and what flashes through our minds. Terminators, lazy-ass artists, scammers chasing fast cash, your scary-ass mother-in-law plotting her revenge. Let's be real. AI always had a bad rep. Why? Because the moment people hear it, they start panicking. They stop thinking. They look for problems, not potential. But see, here's the truth. When used in the right way, AI isn't some robotic takeover. It's a bridge, a connection, a tool that brings creators from all walks of life together under one roof. All of it built under one thing, the Howl. Now I want to make this clear. It's not about making a quick buck. It's not about undercutting real artists who really bleed for their craft. It's not about clout chasing. It's about message, about pulse, about the howl. That raw, gritty cry that says, I create because I fucking have to, because it's safe. Because somebody else needs to hear it. That is a howl. Everyone has it. Some scream it in oil paint, some whisper it through games, music, myths, and now people who never got the chance to be heard are finally handed the mic thanks to AI. AI isn't the art, it's the amplifier, the forge if you will. The brush handed to someone who thought they couldn't paint is no different than giving a voice box to someone who survived throat cancer. They're not pretending. They're fucking fighting for the chance to be heard. They speak not because it sounds pretty, but because silence nearly killed them. That's what AI can be. Not as a shortcut, but as a lifeline. Take a look at the original Final Fantasy VII. By today's standards, yeah, their graphics look like shit. Their stories were messy, cryptic, none of it made sense, but none of that mattered. Because the game Howl. It had heart, it had grief, it had tension, revolution, eco-myth, and a soundtrack that hit harder than a bullet train. We didn't like it because it had clean visuals. We didn't like it because the AI was good. We liked it because it told truth. It was raw, unpolished, but unforgettable. Just how creation should be. Just how you, the person, should be. Same goes for Vivi from Final Fantasy IX. A quiet soul, manufactured, wondering if he's even real, searching for his story until he finds it. He finds his howl. It's quiet and short, but it's powerful as hell, because it's true. A long lifespan or a short lifespan, your howl is just as important as the one doing the howling. And that's why most YouTube channels miss this. They chase views, not truth. They churn out videos for cheap dopamine hits like, woo, pretty kitty! Or 6 painful hours at watching someone fail miserably at the first level of Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Ido. Fucking dick. It's all monkey see, monkey do, copycat content. But copying somebody's script will never hit as hard as writing your own. Monkey see doesn't mean soul screwing. So if you're chasing what works for you, and it's real, that's real. But if you're chasing after what works, you're not being you. So stop copying and start howling. Because maybe this video will only reach one person. And that one person could very well just be sitting in silence wondering if their voice matters. Sitting there wondering if they're allowed to be loud or weird or raw. And if they hear this, even if they're half asleep, months from now, they'll hear this and remember your howl matters. Maybe, if luck allows it, they'll pass it on. A message and a gesture that saves someone's life. And that is why we are here. Not to trend, but to heal. To connect. To fucking resound. Because finding your howl isn't easy. It can take weeks, months, years. Just like crafting the perfect song, you are the one that writes it. You don't abandon it, but you do take a break and come back to it, bleeding and hopeful until the sound becomes you. It starts in silence, scribbles, and draft notes nobody ever sees, and eventually you stop trying to sound like somebody else. You start listening to that ache in your bones, to what needs to be said, even if the voice inside of you is shaking. The silence before the howl wasn't wasted time. It was incubation, and it was becoming. And when it's ready, and when it's really ready to pop, it's gonna echo like a motherfucker, and finally your voice will be heard. Remember these words. Your howl matters. Remember that. We all feel lost. Some in silence. Some in chaos. Some in places we swore we'd never return to, but somehow did. Music is a wonderful motivator, AI generated or not, because when the right sound hits your soul, you don't ask where it came from, you ask why it knows your name. That song, whether written on a napkin or typed out in code, that's not fake. It moves you, it carries you, it reminds you that you're still here, still fighting, and still creating. And unfortunately, that's the hard truth too many ignore. AI isn't killing art. It's handing brushes to the voiceless, and microphones to those who don't really have any way to send out their howl. So ask yourself this. The next time you see someone at Walmart, or standing tired in the checkout line, scrolling through their phone, trying to push through that day, ask yourself this. What is their howl? Not the coupons, not the khakis, not the tired eyes and the $8 mascara, but what grief do they carry? What joy almost made it to the surface before life stepped in? Even if they never say it to you, even if they've forgotten the shape of it, their howl matters just as much as they do. Some creators face real grief, real resistance, and still they howl. But others get stalked by something more subtle. Not by fists, not by critics, but by a shadow of charm and claws. I call it the Two-Tailed Feline from hell. It looks different to everyone. To one person, it could be a false mentor. To another, it's the toxic algorithm. To some, it's the voice in their head saying, "Don't make waves, you're not worth it." You get the idea. Two tails, one smile, all manipulation. This feline doesn't care about truth. It cares about control, about replication, about draining your fire before you get a chance to even get warm. To it, you're just another shadow in this litter box. See, here's what matters. Every time you choose your voice, your weirdness, your howl, your broken but your real creation, you defy it. You defy that feline. Some creators, like Markiplier, know this. They didn't get loud to chase clout. I did not mean to make that rhyme, by the way. They get loud because the feline came too close. and instead of folding, they roared back. They made grief into an echo, and made defiance into a legacy. They made their howl untouchable. So the feline walked elsewhere. So, I want to ask this. What does your feline look like? And what do you need to say to it to make sure it never steals your howl again? Maybe you're hearing this on your own phone. Maybe it's 3 a.m. and you're just dead tired. But regardless if your voice is weird, loud, raw, one thing is certain. It is you. That is your howl. It's the thread connecting us all. And it's here to heal. To rebound from every corner of the world. Not with perfection, but with truth. Because your howl doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to be real. And when it does, it echoes loudly. That is why Lunar Howling exists. Because you exist. Because someone, somewhere out there needed a reminder that their voice wasn't a mistake. That silence wasn't just the prelude. It wasn't even the end. You are your own howl. The signal, the ritual, the storm before the stillness, and the echo after, that is all you. And if this video reached you, even when you're half asleep, then pass it on. In a gesture, in a lyric, Lunar Howling was never about volume, it's about truth, resonating through the cracks, reminding us all that we all have a howl, and it is there to be heard and always remembered.